As the threat of terrorism and rising Islamist extremism looms large over South Asia, India and Malaysia have strengthened their partnership with a renewed focus on security. The recent state visit of Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to India underscores the deepening ties between the two nations, with both leaders condemning terrorism in all its forms and reaffirming their commitment to regional stability. We bring you an in-depth report.
India and Malaysia share a dynamic and steadily evolving partnership marked by close cooperation across a wide range of sectors. Their strategic alliance extends to regional and global issues, with a strong focus on security, economic development, and diplomatic collaboration. On August 19, Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim arrived in India for a state visit at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This visit, the Malaysian leader's first to South Asia, marked a significant moment in the diplomatic relationship between the two nations. The discussions between the two leaders were comprehensive, addressing a wide range of issues reflective of the complex and multi-layered ties that bind Malaysia and India. A central theme of their talks was the condemnation of terrorism in all its forms. Prime Ministers Modi and Ibrahim jointly called on nations to reject and denounce terrorism, emphasizing that no country should serve as a haven for terrorists. Both leaders underscored the necessity of bringing those who perpetrate such acts to justice, adhering to domestic laws and international conventions.
हम दोनों ने रक्षा क्षेत्र में आपसी सहयोग की नई संभावनाओं पर भी बात की है। आतंकवाद और अतिवाद के खिलाफ लड़ाई में भी हम एकमत हैं।
The issue of Zakir Naik, a radical Muslim preacher who has found refuge in Malaysia since 2016, has been a contentious point in Malaysia-India relations. Naik, who is wanted in India on charges of spreading hate and engaging in money laundering, was granted permanent residency by Malaysia's former Prime Minister, led by Mahathir Mohamad. His presence in Malaysia has strained bilateral ties, particularly given the severity of the charges against him. In 2022, India's Union Ministry of Home Affairs declared Naik's Islamic Research Foundation unlawful, citing his role in promoting hate and discord through his speeches, which have been accused of extolling known terrorists and encouraging extremist ideologies. During his visit, Anwar Ibrahim addressed the Zakir Naik issue, acknowledging that while it was not discussed in the current meeting, it had been raised by Prime Minister Modi in the past. He reaffirmed Malaysia's stance against terrorism, stating, "We are open to any ideas, and if compelling evidence is submitted, we will not condone terrorism. The issue is not about one person, but about the broader sentiment of extremism."
But the issue is, I'm not talking about one person, I'm talking about the sentiment of extremism, of compelling case and evidence that suggest the atrocities committed by an individual, a group, a faction, or parties. These are of concern to us. Now, issues if raised by countries to contain, to secure understanding, and to ensure that we have good bilateral relations would continue. And we are open to any ideas, and if evidence submitted, we will not condone terrorism. But you have to produce a compelling case to support. And we have been tough. We've been working together with India in many of these issues against terrorist cells.
The challenge of Islamist extremism and radicalism extends well beyond the individual case of Zakir Naik and poses a significant threat to the stability of South Asia. The region, characterized by its diverse mix of religions and cultures, has increasingly become a hotspot for extremist ideologies that fuel violence and unrest. In India, a nation celebrated for its secular fabric and diversity, the rise of Islamist extremism has had devastating consequences. The country has suffered numerous terrorist attacks over the past few decades. These incidents have not only claimed countless innocent lives, but have also highlighted the growing influence of radical ideologies that exploit religious sentiments to justify violence. India continues to grapple with threats from terrorist groups operating in its neighborhood. Extremist organizations such as Al-Qaeda, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Taiba and Hizbul Mujahideen have found safe havens, training and financing in Pakistan, creating turmoil across South Asia. In Bangladesh, the rise of Islamist radicalism has also become a pressing concern. The country has seen a surge in extremist activities, including recent violence against Hindus. These actions reflect a broader trend of intolerance and violence aimed at silencing dissent and imposing a rigid interpretation of Islam on a historically moderate society. The situation in Afghanistan, exacerbated by the Taliban's return to power in 2021, has further complicated the security landscape in South Asia. Afghanistan has once again become a sanctuary for extremist groups, including ISIS-K, which pose a direct threat to the stability of the entire region. The global community, especially South Asian nations, must collaborate on military, law enforcement, and ideological measures to counter these threats. As Malaysia and India work to deepen their relationship, their shared commitment to combating terrorism is not just a bilateral concern, but a necessity for ensuring peace and stability across the entire region.